Okay, I think there were a few questions about section 5.5a. I think once you see how this particular section works, won't be too bad for you. 5.5a deals with multiplying polynomials. 5.5b, which I'm not going to do a video for, at least at this point, deals with the FOIL method. Multiplying polynomials, really, if you understood this section, the FOIL method would be more of the same type of stuff, because this section basically says how do you multiply polynomials together, and really the key is that you're going to distribute and you're going to make sure to get every combination when you're multiplying the polynomials out. So this example that we're looking at right here, you have a monomial y times a trinomial negative 3xy plus 2x minus 2. You're going to distribute the y in and multiply it with each value. So imagine y times negative 3xy. Those go together. You're going to have negative 3xy to the second. So you're going back to rules of powers at certain points where you have a y and a y. You add the 1 and the 1 to the powers, you're going to get second power. So repeat multiplication happens at the power level. Y times 2, positive 2x, that's going to be a positive 2xy. And y times a negative 2 is a negative 2y. I don't think that example is too tough, but it's a good one to start on because it shows basic distribution. Okay, another one really quick here. Negative 4y times negative x. Got negative times a negative, right? So with the front value, we don't have to write plus 4yx or 4xy. The front value, oftentimes, you just write what you've got there without the plus sign, and it's assumed to be positive. But the following terms, we want to have the appropriate sign. Minus 4y times y cubed. Remember what you do with the powers. You're going to add the powers. Also preserve the sign. Negative times positive is a negative. So we've got negative 4 y to the 4. And then the final distribution, negative 4y times 5. Negative times a positive is a negative. 4 times 5 is 20, and we've got a y. So that should be correct. Okay, another distribution. I think this is a bit redundant, so I'm going to skip ahead. Let's see. Also not bad. Okay, so this is the type of problem when I was thinking about what might be a little bit trickier. I'm going to go do the tutor mode because maybe they can show us the steps in a way that will be clear. Alright, so what are they doing right here? They're reminding you that when you sweep this through, you're going to have x times x squared. Now a lot of times I'll do this step all the way out. They're saying, get all the combinations and write each piece out. So we'll play their game and just say x times x squared. That's our first calculation. But think about what we're doing here. We're taking x and we're going to sweep it through to all three of the terms in the other factor. And then we're going to move on to the 2, and we're going to sweep that through as well, multiplying with each value over there. And then you're going to end up combining any like terms that you have and then expressing your final answer. So we got x times x squared, x times x, x times 8. Okay, so these first three boxes that we're filling in, they're helping us out with, took care of all the combinations of the front value. Now we're going to say 2 times x squared, times x, and 2 times 8. If that's what they're looking for. Okay, so we've entered that correctly. Okay, and they say, alright, if you had this calculation, what would you have? Well, I would probably have skipped that step, just me, but I would have ended up with, this would have been the step I would have shown. I would have had x cubed, x squared, and 8x, write the 8 up front, and 2x to the second, and 2x, and 16. Okay? And so once you do that out and you get your 6 terms, you've got to think about combining like terms, and we want to think about writing things in descending order of power is a good habit. So x cubed, there's nothing else that's an x cubed term. There's nothing that can combine through addition or subtraction with the x cubed in this problem. Okay, it has to be the same variable combination raised to the same powers. X cubed, look at the x squared terms. X squared and 2x squared. How do you combine those together? The numbers out front, the coefficients, are the values that you combine together through addition or subtraction. So 1x squared and 2x squared, you're going to have a plus 3x squared. 8x and 2x, those are our x to the first power terms. We're going to end up with a plus 10x. And then the constant is 16. There's nothing else to combine with that for regular numbers. So our final answer, x cubed plus 3x squared plus 10x plus 16 is the product. Okay, let's see if we can find anything else that might help us out. I think that's more of the same. We could do this one. They kind of threw this in the mix, but really what you have is a monomial times a monomial. So remember that you're not going to have to do any distribution where you try to get at each term. It's really this guy times this guy. And we could just say 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. You get an x, and then y to the 4th times y is y to the 5th, remember. Add the powers. Negative 10 xy to the 5th. Okay. Alright, and there's another trinomial problem. Remember, just get each combination and then move on to the next value. Okay, so we start with x, sweep it over to the 3 terms, and move to the negative 2, sweep that over with multiplication to each of the terms, and then combine any like terms that you've got. Okay, let me know if you need any help, you need more questions answered than just this. Just scanning ahead, binomials, and process you're going to find is the same type of stuff for these examples.